Hello everyone, and me in the future. Here's the result of my semi-unsuccessful project where I was trying to create a photogrammetry 3D model of two boots, face, well, kind of helmet and faceplate from the TV show cartoon Maul, the Star Wars universe one. So here's the report. You can see the model is quite crap, but as they say, garbage in, garbage out, and I'm not talking about the artistry of the show itself. It's just, try and get screens from the show and do 3D model. It is meant to be unsuccessful, I think, in this case. Anyway, so how do I get here and why is it a black and white? Well, it all starts with source material that you get with some questionable means, but the higher quality the better. So I got 4K versions with like HDR and everything, and then I used script called, library called PySceneDetect, and I made a script around it that, and by the way, when I say I mean like vibe coded and everything. So that thing allows you to grab scenes from like longer clips, separate scenes. These are all the scenes from the first one, for example. Then I made a script that grabbed thumbnails from those scenes, separate clips, and I put them here. And those thumbnails are from the middle of each clip. Then I went manually through all those images and I was looking for those that has two boots in it, and I dragged and copy pasted them into this folder, like picked thumbnails called. The other script then would go and based on the images that I picked, it would go back to clips and do per frame extraction with some like every nth file to be taken out. And then I did another script that done it for all of them. And so I've collected all the frames. They are empty right now because I pulled them out to be used. Not here. This is all the frames. So all 984 frames. And this is, I believe, was the second approach I did. The first approach, I actually used DaVinci Resolve and manually found all the clips and extracted them. And I've taken more frames than every 5th or 10th I was doing this time, but before it was even more. So you can see there's all different shots and frames with two boots in it. So that was the first step. So get all the frames. Then I used and installed on Docker this app, CVAT, for annotation platform. I was trying to annotate all the faces of two boots, right? And after that, I've trained a YOLO model using this guy, or rather this guy I think is inference, right? Anyway, so I trained a custom model to detect two boot face. So to use the model and extract crops from each frame of the two boot model. So here was the result. So these are all the crops that I got from all the frames. Okay, so now we have the crop, we still have color, we still have background, and also it didn't do for all of them. So for some of them, it didn't do a good job. So I saved those that it didn't detect the face in, like the frames that it didn't detect face. I put them in a file. Then I copied the frames where it wasn't able to detect into here. And then I developed my own quick cropping software. Let me demonstrate that. This one, to manually crop the missing ones. So I made it to my specification, which is click, drag, release, click, drag, release, click, drag, release, and I did it 89 times and I extracted remaining 89 faces. And so I end up with all the crops over here. So that's all the crops from all the scenes. So 445, I don't know, whatever. Then I made a script that does normalization, grayscale, exposure thingy. I don't remember how it's doing it, but essentially the goal is to get rid of unevenness because you can see some of them green, some of them really dark. I'm not sure how useful that is, like some are really, really dark. So the light and color is all different in all the shots. So that's not ideal for photogrammetry. And so the goal was to try and get them as uniform as possible. This is the, you will notice there's no background because, yeah, I'll get back to it. But you can see at least that they are all somewhat uniform. All the shadows are on the same level. I mean, obviously details are not there, but at least they're all on the same, more or less, level. But yeah, speaking of the background, you can see these images all have background. So what I did, I used remove background rembg with this model, with this model, and then I made my own script as well to do it as a batch and in parallelize. It takes a lot of memory. So anyway, it took a while, like a couple hours, but I was able to remove all the background. And so you can see that this is without a background now, and black and white. I think I normalized them again later on the window machine, but this is the at some point at least. Anyway, so no background, and so all that was source into here, where I spent in Metashape. I spent quite a bit of time aligning all those images and realigning and adding more images. So I was trying my best to do the alignment. I think I would, like, considering material I have, I did it well. So this is all the tie points. You can see they're quite noisy. There's still a little bit of noise. I was trying to optimize multiple times. You can see it's 2 boots 4 at this point, and it's like even here it's like third copy paste model trying to add more images. In the end I have 493 images, and I have my flags, which for most images were semi-automatically put or manually put. All the green ones, you can see the green ones, that's all manually put markers. I was trying to do the masking to not use feature points outside of the faceplate, because everything else is moving but the faceplate is not moving. So that adds a bunch of randomness and noise to the alignment. And yeah, in the end, this was the best I could do. I've learned the tricks of using the custom scripts in Metashape. So for example, I have a grid filter one, for example. So if and the way it works is I can select a bunch of images that I think are sitting next to each other too close. So if I think these is not needed, right, I can run this script. It's basically filtering out very close sitting ones without removing all of them. So it keeps some of them, but if there is a bunch of them in a cluster in a close by, I can select them and then I can, for example, remove them. I'm not going to do it now because I like my setup. I don't care about them being. But yeah, a couple of scripts I used. There's a problematic. Yeah, so I selecting some images based on their error. Yeah, you see it selected all the images with the biggest error, but like I can do this, for example, like I'm showing a little bit of my pipeline. Then I unset it, then I try to set it, and you can see that the error for this image is now way low. Oh no, actually it's quite big still. Okay, I take it back. It's still big. So this image means that this image is very bad. So, well, I can also do this quickly. Let's see if I can correct this image on the fly. Oh, it's doing a lot of this time. Anyway, let's see if I corrected it. This is the model I could get, the best model I could get based on all the images. It is good for making actual model and use this as a reference. So that's not a bad result, but yeah, it's pretty unsuccessful project. I was hoping I can squeeze out a bit more quality, but I was not able to. So, oh yeah, there's an error here. Anyway, thank you. Bye-bye.